welcome to LadyGang. I'm Becca Tobin here with Jack Vanek and Keltie Knight.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
What's up, ladies?
This has nothing to do with anything, but I don't know if you guys know, I got my eyebrows laminated. It's not my good week.
We're still doing that.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're back. Because mine had like a butt crack. And so it was like the hairs that go up and then the hairs that go sideways, and they didn't ever connect. And I kept trying to like really like lig it down with some like product, and it just never worked. So I did them, and I'm very happy with it.
You're
That's
laminated.
good.
But I would like to ask you a question, and this is a public service announcement. Jack, when we were in New York a few weeks ago, you had an eyebrow pencil, and the pencil was so thin. It was like very, very, very precise. And I forgot my eyebrow pencil, and I borrowed it from you. And I would love to know what that eyebrow pencil is, because I would like to get it.
It's the best. It's from Kosas. I think that's how you pronounce it. They're like nano brow pen.
Is it in the like yellow thing?
No, it's purple.
It was like pink or purple.
It's teeny tiny.
Teeny. So like, because you know I like to draw on myself like a Sharpie when I do my makeup. And it was like really quite beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah. Kosas. I also love their deodorant, though it does, when I have a spray tan, it bleaches my armpits. But other than that, I love it. Good brand.
Right.
It's time for
Good week.
Yes, it is.
Bad week. Oh, no.
I'm going first.
Ooh.
I have a good week, and it is LaBubu, LaBubu, LaBubu.
You got the love one.
I got the love LaBubu.
So cute.
I got it. It's the same guy that sent you yours. What's his name?
Raw Kicks on Instagram. He's the
Rock
best.
Kicks on
Raw,
Instagram.
RAW.
Raw Kicks. Thank you so much. And I found out something very interesting. The way you can tell a fake LaBubu from a real LaBubu is the real LaBubus have 9 teeth. And the fake LaBubus have 10 or 11.
Really? Why wouldn't they just do 9? That seems like such an easy thing
Such
to
a
fake.
strange thing. Probably a trademark thing. Also, I will post it in honor of this. I made a LaBubu movie where a couple weeks ago I was on vacation, and one of the daughters there is 9, and she had 2 LaBubus, and I
just go back and listen to what you just said.
Yeah. I was committed to not being on my phone at all. And so what do you do when you're not like scrolling Instagram on the beach? You make a LaBubu movie. So we took the LaBubus all over the place to every stop. We filmed.
It's like a flat Stanley.
It is
LaBubu.
truly my greatest internet work. And it's on my TikTok right now. So if you want to see it, it has 352 views. So it's bombing. But I just want to let everyone know I got my LaBubu, and I'm very happy about it. And I'm ready for Jack. Auntie Jack, send me some clothes.
You got to get your own. They're on TikTok Shop. I just got mine a McDonald's uniform. My LaBubu.
What?
A McDonald's uniform.
I just want you to know that I was on vacation with my friend and their 3 daughters, not one of them over 13. And they had a LaBubu delivery, and there were 6 of them that came. And I was watching these little girls, and I was thinking that you guys have mental health problems for sure. Confirmed. Because
Confirmed.
it is very bizarre. Like, I don't know. Are you guys just doing that thing where you like want to love something so much, you know, like because it's interesting? Like, I do you have an emotional
Yes,
you have an
I love stuffed
emotional
animals.
feeling when you see these, like the way those 9-year-olds did?
Yeah.
I like the LaBubu because he's kind of like a little monster. Like, I like if it was cutesy and like a little doll, I wouldn't like it. But I like the look
Because
of
it's
the
ugly
LaBubu.
like me.
Yeah, it's like an ugly monster, a little thing.
Yeah.
That's why I like it. And then I like the idea of dressing it up in clothes. I think it's cute.
I think it's fun.
And because it's a keychain. I wouldn't like it if it wasn't a keychain.
If it was
like
just
being
a
able to hang it
doll,
on
I
my
would be
stuff.
like, I have enough of them. But as a little friend that can come with me where I go,
it's an
delicious.
accessory. That's the only reason why I like it.
Yep.
It's an accessory. And then I like Squishmallows because I can sleep on them. They all have there's a purpose. It's not just for decor.
Yeah, it's a purpose, Becca. Okay, my bad week is I was on this flight and this man was absolutely insane. Okay, you know how when you land, you have to stay in your seat and like stay buckled in until you get to the gate, and then the beep happens and everyone unbuckles and then everyone goes feral. This man looks at me. We did not talk the whole flight because, you know, I put on the blinders, like the personality blinders of like, I'm not here for friends, you know?
Yeah.
He looks at me. He turns to me. I'm in the window seat. He's in the middle or aisle or whatever. And he goes, you might not, all he says was, you might not want to watch this. And I was like, hot damn, are we like, what the hell? Are we getting blown up? Like, what's happening? He goes, I'm going to have to do something stupid here.
Oh my God.
Like, oh my God. Like, what is happening? So he gets out of his seat. Literally, the plane has just like bumped the ground. He gets up to his seat. He opens the thing. He takes his fucking bag and he literally lands. But before that, when we landed super hard. And right before he gets up out of his seat, because he had a connection or whatever, he was like going to be off the plane first, all the way from the back of coach. And we land really hard. And right before he does it, he goes, wow, that felt good. Like how hard the landing was. I thought this man was going to go murder people in the front of the plane, but all he did was just want to be first in line, which I understand. Customs is a bitch, you know?
But wait, what did he do that was going to be stupid?
As soon as the plane landed, we were still literally going 300 miles an hour.
Oh,
flight attendants were seated. We were not even close to the gate. He got up, got his bag out, and walked to the front of the plane. I'm surprised he didn't get arrested.
Yeah,
oh my
he
God.
should have been tackled.
Yeah, where was our guy? Where was our flight guy?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Our air marshal,
coach.
Oh my God.
You know where that wouldn't have happened? Delta One.
That's
well, because you don't have to run because you're already at the front.
I know. Okay, who's next?
Here's mine. So remember how I was telling you about during Christmas last year, how Ford is not like, speaking of LaBubus, he's like not into
the fantasy.
Yeah, no, like the Elf on the Shelf was at our friend's house and I was like, he watches them and makes sure and he tells Santa and I'm like trying to get him in this, you know, this Christmas spirit because everyone guilts me about it. And he looked at me and he's like, but he's not real. Like, he's like, this is just so stupid. So
he is so your child.
He's so my child. And then so this was the first year he was allowed to stay up late enough to watch the fireworks because it's always like sundown and summer's days are so long that by that time it's like 10 p.m. So I was like, okay, we're going to do fireworks. And we like talked it up and I was like, oh my God, he's so excited about it. I'm like, maybe this is like the first year I'm going to understand like the concept of fireworks, right? Like the magic of fireworks. And I sit him down and we're on the dock of my friend's house and he's so excited and they start and he's like kind of into it, like sort of for the first 4 explosions, I'd say. And then he's like, I've got to go get something. I was like, what are you going to get? And he just gets up and walks up the dock and I'm following him obviously because he's a small child. I'm like, what is he doing? Like, is he getting like candy to enjoy the show? Whatever. He's gone up to get a coloring book and a box of crayons and he sits and he goes back down to the dock. He sits down and he starts drawing while the fireworks are still going.
He wants nothing to do with the
He
celebration.
does not give a He's like, seen one firework, seen them all. And that's exactly how I feel. I'm like, okay, I saw 3. Cool.
God.
Like, let's move on. So I just can't believe that this is not anything that went wrong in my childhood. It's just simply how I was born.
That is so funny.
And I swear I never once at any point was like, they're so stupid. I don't understand them. They're so overrated. Because I'm not going to I'm trying to feel alive.
To not yuck his yum. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I hope he loves this. And then I'm going to love it. It's just like Christmas. Everyone's like, just wait till your kid loves it. And I'm like, well, I'm still waiting.
Oh my God.
I love Ford. He's like a little curmudgeon.
He is.
He's a little Becca.
He's me.
He's literally mini you to the freaking T.
My theory is that, and it's appropriate for the episode that we're doing, my theory is that I was told at one point in time by a psychic that I am on my last life. So you know how we have many, many, many lives? Mm-hmm. And she's like, your soul has seen things so many times, it's very hard to get
over
you
it. You're not impressed.
Yeah. And so I think that maybe that's Ford as well.
Oh my God.
I mean, but when were fireworks invented? You know what I mean? Like the good fireworks have only been around for 20 years. So
you think 20? No, definitely more.
No, the ones
I don't think they had like
the
great
ones that
sparkly.
dance.
Yeah, they didn't have like the One's like,
The ones that like make a smiley face and then turn into a rose.
But maybe it's less the specific thing you've experienced
just in
over.
general.
It's the wonder. It's the wonder.
Yeah, the wonder.
Yeah, you have no wonder.
You were around when electricity was invented. You don't need to see a firework.
I've seen so many exciting things happen in the world over the centuries that I'm like, fireworks, please.
Lame.
Please.
Yeah, that's so funny. Wait, do you have a? Was that all?
That was it. That was like I was excited to show him, and
Yeah, and he doesn't care.
He's me.
I'll go quick. So my good week is I saw The Killers recently, and it's been a long time since I go to Jared's shows all the time, but I don't go to shows. So it was very nice to see a band that wasn't Jared, and they freaking crushed it. And I love that the Killers have so many hits that you don't even realize. I'm like, oh, I know every single song. I forgot about that. But my bad week is I can't go to a show anymore without just hyper analyzing the singer. So the whole entire time I was watching the show and I was like, Brandon Flowers, Google, Brandon Flowers height, Brandon Flowers wife, Brandon Flowers cocaine, because it looked like he was on massive amounts of coke up there. Brandon Flowers
allegedly
arrest. I just wanted to know every single thing about his life. I'm like, Brandon Flowers sparkly suit. And it just kind of ruined the experience for me.
Why don't you do that before you see shows so that going into it, you already have all the answers?
Because I'm not passionate about it unless I'm watching him up there. And I'm just now I need to know every single thing about you. I need to know your life's history, your relationships. Are you a father? Have you been arrested before? I needed to know everything because he's amazing, but he's very intense up there.
It only happens. It happens to me too with musicians and never actors. I've never been watching a movie and been like, I wonder where Timothée Chalamet is from. I don't give a But if it's a musician, they're so mysterious and sexy that you're you want to know everything about him.
Well, and then you're in the vicinity of them. I'm 50 feet away from him. I can feel his aura. So I just got to know, I need to know your life's work. But yeah, I don't know if that's just it's a millennial thing of us just can't enjoy nice things. You just gotta
Google everything.
Google everything.
Chris Knight's claim to fame was when he was in his band Lemon Sun, they opened for the Killers.
Really?
And then they broke up.
Star baby.
Or then he left.
Well, at least they never got big without him.
Thank God.
Oh my God, thank God.
Could you imagine? I'd be so pissed.
Ugh.
I'd be so pissed.
They're
as big as the Killers.
It's the guy in NSYNC, Brian, who left,
Yeah. Or the original drummer of the Beatles. Bummer.
Bummer. All right, when we come back, we're going to get into the brains.
The Lady Gang.
Buckle up, LadyGang. Today we are chatting with celebrity medium, crime solver, and the man who connects this world to the next. He's assisted in cracking cold cases with the FBI and regularly blows our minds on his hit podcast, Connect with Jonathan Mark. Whether he's sharing messages from loved ones, diving into true crime, or helping families heal, Jonathan doesn't just deliver readings, he delivers answers. Calling all your dead grandmas. Welcome to the podcast, Jonathan Mark.
Thank you for having me. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
I bet you've never had an intro like that. Calling all your dead grandmothers.
Literally never. I loved it.
Okay, so when we signed on, we're doing this virtually. When we signed on, did messages start coming through already, or how does it work?
No, I kind of have to get in the zone. I try to tell people it's when I do readings, people always seem to crack my neck first. For some reason, it's a weird habit that I do. And that's kind of when I get in the zone. It's my way of just tapping in or just getting into this. I know I keep saying getting in the zone, but that's literally the best way I can probably explain it.
Cool.
How did you realize that you had a gift? Can you give us a little TLDR of your whole story?
Yeah, I don't want to bore you guys too much with it, but when I was a kid, my aunt passed away, my Aunt Sue. She passed away when I was about 6 months old, and she was best friends with my mom, absolutely best friends. They did everything together. They lived in Queens together, and before she passed, she lived with my mom and my dad in their house. And I was about 4 or 5, and it was Easter Sunday, and I go up to my grandfather, who was still here, and the father of all of them, and I said, Susie's here. And he's like, all right, cool. Sure. Because there's pictures everywhere and people still spoke about her all the time. So I definitely knew about her. And I was I guess I was getting frustrated because I was pointing at my clothes, and my mom dressed me in denim on denim. Like when
Canadian
I was like,
tuxedo.
exactly. And I kept pulling out my shirt and I kept saying, Susie's wearing this, like Susie's pulling this. And my grandpa was like, what the hell is this kid talking about? Like, and my mom was on the other side of the wall, like cooking for like Easter. And my other aunt was in the living room. And my aunt was like, what the hell is he talking about? And my mom just starts crying, like hysterically crying, and walks around the corner. My mom shares the story like all the time to people, and that's why I know it so well. And she basically walked in and told my family that, you know, when the service happened and everyone was going to their cars to drive to the cemetery, my mom walked back in and they used to steal clothes from each other like all the time. And there was just one denim jacket that they used to steal back and forth from each other, like constantly when they would go out drinking, you know, on Stone Street in the city and like everything. And she went in there and put in the casket to keep her warm inside, and didn't tell my dad, didn't tell her sister, didn't tell her mom or her dad, because she wanted it to be a private moment between her and like what was going on. So then everyone's like, what the heck is going on with this kid? Like, what is wrong with this kid? So then eventually I was getting older and I was seeing things about my family, which I didn't really understand at the time. They're like really intense things, and I didn't understand it. And then as I was getting older and dealing with real life things and kind of like understanding real life problems and situations, that's when I was like, holy crap, like this is what this means. Finding out later on in life that those things happened to my family members from like another family member. And it was really intense. And I wanted to be like a normal kid too. So I didn't really talk about when I was like 13. I just wanted to drink, honestly, play sports and hang out with friends. I'm not gonna lie. Like I wanted to be like what was perceived as like normal, I guess.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was playing like lacrosse, football, I was wrestling, I was doing like everything. I was like, I need to do the manliest sports that I can do to blah, blah, blah. But, you know, when I was going off to college, people don't really know this, but when I was going off to college, I was playing lacrosse and I was getting recruited to places. And I got recruited to a big Division I school. And like last minute, I decommitted and went to the school that my dad and my Aunt Sue went to play like lacrosse for them. And it was just like a full circle moment. And so when I was going off to school, because I stopped speaking about when I was from like 13 or like maybe 12 to like when I was going off to college, I went to my mom and I was like, is there mental illness in the family? Because I thought I was like schizophrenic for a while.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't really know what was going on. And my mom's like, no. And I kind of explained to her that like, you know, I was still seeing things and, you know, seeing things from my lacrosse coaches, from like my friends' parents. And, you know, it was like a little nutty. And my mom's like, well, I'm going to see this like medium, whatever. Like I believe in mediums and stuff. So, you know, because for a while, my mom, after she lost my aunt, I don't know if this is like normal. I think it is now from doing this all the time, but she believed in it. And then her sister passed and she stopped believing in like the afterlife and stopped believing in like, you know, what happens next because it was so tragic and it was so like intense. But my mom so desperately wanted to hear from her sister, like really bad. So she's like, I'm, you know, going to a medium. And then kind of the rest was history when it was like confirmed that I can do this. And, you know, my mom's been like the biggest advocate, but like, even at that point, I still didn't want to be a medium. I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I still want to like live my life. So it's been very like an interesting road.
Yeah, that's got to be hard trying to suppress something that just like keeps coming through no matter what you try to do.
Yeah, it was hard too because I didn't know who to speak to about it. That was like the hardest thing. Like my friends are not talking about that. They're talking about like hooking up with girls and, you know, doing like that stuff. And I'm like, hey, like I see your dead like uncle, like, you know, like, you know, like I don't know what to do with this information. So it was a weird ride.
When you say you see, like how does that vision come to you?
Yeah, so like initially when I was seeing my aunt, I was actually seeing her. So I was describing what she was wearing and like not in picture. So it wouldn't be like I would look at a picture and see the same outfit. Like I was like describing outfits when I was a kid and my mom would give me like the necklaces I was describing, like pink rock. She handed me like a pink rock necklace that she kept, like a beat up robe that she has tied up, thrown in the closet. She untied it and showed it to me. It's actually kind of gross because it's like all like, you know, whatever. But like just stuff like that. And then eventually when I started doing readings, it became like symbols. It started as symbols and I had to like learn how to interpret like another language essentially. And then once I started like evolving with it, it became like screenshots in my head to like tell a story or something.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved with fighting crime?
The backstory to that is I was going to be a cop. So I went through the NYPD stuff. That was my dream, honestly. And high level, like NYPD guys knew what I could do through like word of mouth. And they pulled me aside and they're like, when we think it's fit for you to help us, we'll call you. They're like, go home and be with your family and know that you're going home every single night. Like, don't make your family like be stressed every single day about this. So, little to my knowledge, now I know, but they were sending me people like once every 6 months to see how my gift was like evolving. And then eventually there was this case, Katrina from Howard Beach, the jogger, and they sent me her cousin and I didn't know. And that was my like first case. And then when I helped with that case, then all of a sudden I get a call and they're like, hey, we did this and now we want to use you. So then from there, it became word of mouth, not just with the local police departments and like the NYPD, it became like the FBI and all these other like agencies too. So then I'm sitting at my parents', having dinner. I'll never forget this. We're eating pizza, a very Long Island thing, I know. And I got a call from like an unrestricted like phone number, which I don't answer typically. And the FBI called me and they were like, hey, we're working on the Long Island serial killer case or Gilligo by us. And they're like, you have 15 minutes, impress us. Like, that's literally what they said to me.
Stop.
So I stand up and I run to literally this room and probably in the corner, pacing back and forth, just doing the reading. And I gave him a lot of information like about like the whole case. And he starts to chuckle and he goes, all right, good, and hangs up. Like, that's all I got was
Wait,
like a
hold
laugh.
on. How much did you know about the case? Because you're
where was it in like the investigation? Like they didn't.
So it was back in
reps.
So it was back in 2017, and like probably 2017, 2018 time. And it was the first task force just got closed, kind of like it was on its way to be closed. And a lot of what I was doing was bringing up an unusual R sounding name, like not like a Ryan Robert. Like the only other Rex I know is Rex Ryan, the New York Jets' like head coach. So I didn't really understand what it was being shown. But the thing that I was seeing, which I think I could talk about now, was the corruption on the Suffolk side of things. And I was naming all the people about the corruption before it was even public, right? So that's why he left, because he was trying to deal with literally what I was saying to him, plus additional information that I gave him.
Wait, so you didn't have like, you weren't holding a bead, you weren't like, he literally just goes, Long Island serial killer, go. And you think Long Island serial killer and you got something?
Yeah, literally. And it's really only because like he's been on the case for 10 plus years. So he was so close to the case that he knew so much about it. And he was able to validate. He was like the middle person, essentially. I was reading him to get that information only because he was investigating like all the families. He was doing like everything. So he was really close to everyone. So I was able to connect to certain people to get like that information from him. Like if he wasn't a part of the case, I wouldn't be able to do it. Like because he needs to be very close. You can't just be
like, oh, Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry broke up. Like, give me the info.
I wish.
What really happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish. Yeah.
So then did they take you on did you continue to work with them on Long Island serial killer?
Yeah. So like the weird part is that after that happened, the first task force officially got closed. So there was like a 2-year gap until Ray Tierney came on, and then they gave him the recordings to Ray Tierney. And then that's kind of what happened. And then the night of, so like around 2-3 a.m., I get a text and it goes, great day for our task force. That's all I got. And then 2 hours later, they made the arrest to Rex. And I was like, oh, shit. And then after that, they're like, do not answer any press because we're giving, we're going to talk about you. So like, don't give any like press or don't answer any like press, because they wanted to like continue the investigation, because like people don't know, like, it's a crazy one. It's not just like, it's really, really crazy. So they're like, just don't answer. So I haven't been answering, and I've been helping out here and there when they want my help. I'm not like knocking on their doors. Just whenever they call me. I don't want to be like annoying or pester them in any way.
Wow.
That's so interesting, because I feel like there was a time, 30-ish years ago, where like psychics were like such a big part of trying to solve cases. And then I feel like it kind of, I'm not using the word debunked, but like people just stopped like taking it seriously. So it's very interesting because I feel like this kind of goes way under the radar of people like you, mediums, actually helping in true crime cases like that. Because so I have another podcast, a true crime podcast. And my partner actually worked really closely with the Lisk case. She has a podcast called Unraveled that sort of dealt with all that. But anyways, it's just really interesting because it's like, you don't hear about it that much because it seems like it's kind of like a hush-hush thing.
You have no
with
idea.
How you work with them. Yeah.
Because I work with other agencies too. It's not just the FBI. So I work with other agencies and they're like really hush-hush. Like they're like, it's very weird how they do things, but I had to prove myself. And I think that's what people forget. It's like, they didn't just like call me. Like I had to constantly keep proving myself with all these cases, like constantly. And that's why I get called on. Like I get 2 cases a week now from like law enforcement all over the world and families. A lot of times the families will like connect me to the detectives and the detectives will like research me and be like, all right, let's do it. Versus like being like, oh, there's this weird kid from Long Island who thinks he can talk to dead people. Like, let's figure this out. Like they research me. Like I have to go through background checks all the time for it. You know, it's, people think it's like the movies or like the shows when they like kind of portray like a third party coming in and doing it. It's not really like that so much.
What do you say to skeptics?
I just say to sit down with me for 10-15 minutes and, you know, just let me change your mind through experience. Not like you don't have to look me up, just experience it and make a decision for yourself.
I have a question because I saw that you did an interview with Gabby Petito's mom recently. What have you gotten from that and what do you think about?
Tell us the case really quick because I don't know the crimes. Can you give us like Jack, will you give us like a little Cole's Notes?
Yeah, I mean, so Gabby Petito,
she's the one in the van, right?
What?
She was the one in the van, right?
Yeah.
It was the van life couple. Her and Brian Laundrie was her boyfriend.
Thank you.
Yeah. And they, you know, the cops had pulled him over where he was obviously abusing her and they let him go. And there were signs and then she ended up missing and then he ended up dying.
Disappearing.
But that's what my question, I guess, for you is like, did you see anything about Brian Laundrie and like if his parents helped him out in any sense? And like, what are your thoughts on that?
So I worked on that case. I worked on that like a long time ago. That's how I'm very close to Nicole and Jim and all those people. I helped in many different ways. I don't know if Nicole wants me to talk about it so much, but so that's why I interview her. Like she always wants to come on my show because like we've developed such a, not like a connection, like in a weird way. It's just like I help so much with that case. I've been a part of that family, like her other daughters, her new husband, her old husband, Joe, like everyone. And like the FBI that was on it, like literally everyone. So we've became pretty close, but yeah, I basically said that a long time ago that the Laundries were helping. They're basically telling people like, you know, kind of pretending, you know, to look here and then he goes there and to look there and he goes here. And, you know, they were, I guess I don't have kids, so like I can't really like speak to it. But I guess if you have a kid that's in trouble, most people would be like, you know, let's figure it out and bring you to the police and like figure stuff out together. But like there's some parents that I've spoken to that, you know, have these unsolved cases and stuff, and it's weird because a lot of them sympathize with people. Like they're like, I would do the same thing for my kid. Like I would make sure that like he was okay no matter what the situation, you know, is handed to us. So like I can't relate to that because I don't have kids, so I don't know that like that, you know, that protection feeling, I guess, like that. But yeah, there's like a whole thing with like the civil suit that happened with them with that, you know, I wasn't allowed to like talk about, but now I guess, you know, so I do think the Laundries had something to do with like, you know, the like helping him like navigate what he was doing. I mean, because at one point they weren't helping, then all of a sudden it switched and then they were helping so much. And then it was even harder to find him when they were helping. So it was like a really weird thing. But yeah, I would say years ago, that's what I said to Nicole and the police involved.
Well, and the note from his mom.
Yeah.
That'll help you bury a body.
yeah.
And
there's other things. Yeah, and there's other things too, like the gun being tied to someone, like, all of that stuff. Like, there's just like a whole like laundry list of like things.
Yeah.
And when I was doing the interviews with Nicole, I mean, it's all out there, so it's not like it's not out there, I think, at this point. But like, I want to say like over a year ago, more, I kept talking about Gabby leaving to go back, because like a big part of like that case after it happened was the why factor. Like, why did he do it? Like yes, there was domestic violence, like a lot of it, but there's also like what makes someone like switch to go from like doing that. And I kept talking to Nicole and like the people involved about her going home to going to the Carolinas to meet an ex-boyfriend, and then like someone seeing a message on the phone. And Nicole would do the same thing. She would laugh and not really acknowledge. I mean, it's literally like on my show, and she would like not really acknowledge it, but smile and laugh. And then she would call me and like tell me the details after about stuff. So I think that was a helpful thing for them to figure out the why. And then later on, it was locating missing items in the van and finding out missing items in the van, because there was 3 things that were missing, and they're trying to paint a picture of like why those 3 items were missing, because I named them, they looked, and they were missing.
Oh,
So
wow.
then they're like, why were those 3 things missing? Aside from the mattress that I named, it's like obviously maybe he dragged her on it potentially. But there was 2 things that were missing. I don't know if you guys have like crystals. I'm not like a crystal guy, but those like really big rocks, and you slice it, has the purple crystals in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge one in there that was missing, and there's a tattoo gun that was missing. So
Weird.
yeah, and they're trying to figure out like why those, including the mattress, why those 3 things were missing. Like, it just doesn't make sense in
Yeah, they're
like the
so
scheme of
random.
things. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So many people are afraid of death and the finality of that. What do you think when people say that, knowing what you can see and do?
I was afraid at first, but then now what I guess since I do this every single day, I'm more at peace with it. It's kind of beautiful, actually. And it's really weird for me to say that. Trust me. I completely understand like how weird that is to say. And the reason why that I say that is because I see everyone when I do readings in their best version of themselves. So like I see the best version of someone. I don't see when they were sick. I don't see when they maybe took their own life or did things like that. Like I see the happy best version. That doesn't mean that they may have not done bad things prior to it. I just see the best version of that. So it's seeing that and helping people with stuff, and it kind of validates like there's something else there. Maybe we don't know exactly what that is, like, at all, but I don't know. It just gives me peace to know like people are like, or energy or whatever people want to call it. It's still there. Like this isn't just it. So it brings me peace.
I love that.
Me too.
Do you think that we have the capacity to like connect with loved ones, or like, we've had people on the podcast before. They're like, oh, if you see a butterfly, if you see an orange, like all these different things. What do you think about that?
So I think everyone can do this. Just like everyone can sing, but not everyone can sing like Frank Sinatra. Like everyone can kind of just like do like, up to like a certain point and stuff. Yeah, like the symbols and all that stuff. I guess, I don't know. I'm weird. So like I'm like the most skeptical medium you'll probably like meet, probably. So like I need to see it to believe it with signs. Like it can't be all the time, which, yes, like butterflies, cardinals, all that is amazing. And I do think that it brings a lot of people healing, just like myself too, when it comes to seeing that. It is really nice. But I need to see like concrete, like numbers, like things that you can't fudge up, kind of. Like when you're driving, someone cuts you off and it's 710 on the license plate. It's not like that's the stuff for me that I'm like, you can't make that stuff up. You're paying for something and the change is 710. Like, like that's the stuff to me that I'm like, you can't make that up. But again, like the butterflies, the cardinals, all that too. I think it also depends on the circumstance. Like if you're in a forest and there's a crap ton of like wildlife there, the chances are you may see like a butterfly or like a cardinal or something. But if you're like in the desert and all of a sudden like a cardinal comes, it's like, that's also weird too. Like, like just certain things like that. Like I've heard people with their experiences that I'm like, holy shit. Like you can't make that up. Like that's crazy. like like someone lost their parent on 9/11, and they went into the museum, and in the museum they always on the loudspeaker will play people like all the names on loop. And he walked in at the time that his dad passed. Like he heard his dad's name on the speaker out of thousands and thousands of people. And he wasn't even planning on going to that because he didn't want to go into the museum to see that and stuff. So like just things like that where you just can't make it up and stuff like that. I'm like that's cool to me. Yeah.
What your podcast is amazing. What is your favorite moment from Connect?
There's a lot. The Suzanne Clark Simpson case was my favorite moment, I think. I worked, so like Amanda Klutz was going to come on my show. I know her pretty well. And she like texted like everyone and was like, we have the same manager, like her and I, shout out to Andranik, he's the best. But she like texted me. She goes, I know what you do with the crime stuff. Like I have a case for you, but I don't want to tell you what it is. But trust me, she's like, it's highly publicized. Like it's going to be great. And she's like, I'm going to set you up with the person's best friend. And I'm like, okay. And I didn't know the person's name. So the person comes on and I'm like, this girl's like 18 years old. I'm like, there's no way this is Amanda's like best friend. Just like putting two and two together kind of. I'm like, there's no way. I do the reading and it's Suzanne's daughter. And I help with a bunch of stuff. Like I help decode stuff for her, which then 2 days later aided in the arrest of her father. So then at that point, it went like all over the place. Like it went in the news. Other true crime podcasts picked it up, like really big shows were like, this kid did this, blah, blah, blah. And it was just nice because I was able to give Chandler in real time, really fast. I can't bring her mom back and I wish I could for her, but just some type of, I think, clarity and peace to some extent with something because she's still missing, but to help with certain things to like pinpoint who it really was and like, things like that. To see the peace that it gave her was like, I think that's my favorite moment with that, just to see her being happy with everything and just like a weight off of her shoulders. And there's a lot of different moments too, but that one resonates with me the most with my show.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, thank you.
What would you tell people? So I have so many friends that are very into, the mediums, the healers, all of it. And I feel like 9 times out of 10, they have these experiences where they'll like report back and be so excited. And I'm like, the skeptic in me is like, well, those are all things I can find on the internet and social media.
Yeah.
So like, what do you do, first of all, to discern like the real deal from not? Like, what are some red flags if you're connecting with somebody for a reading or something? And like, does it help to give them a fake name and call from a different number? And like, what's your advice there?
I get fake names all the time, like literally all the time. So I'm not really fazed by that anymore. I used to be like, who's Melissa? And they'll be like, oh, that's my name. I'm like, but it says Janet. Like, and they're like, you like, or like, I'm like, who's Brian? And they're like, oh, that's me. I'm like, it says Sam. And they're like, so I think the biggest thing is, at least from my perspective of doing it from like working with law enforcement and stuff, like learning like what to like help people with like the red flags, I guess, with it is yes or no. Like, don't say anything really more than yes or no, because the moment that you do is you're giving them information to piggyback off of it. So when I do readings and stuff and people, sometimes people can't help themselves at a certain point. And I tell them, I'm like, with all due respect, I don't want to sound like rude, but I'm like, just say yes or no. Yeah. I don't want to, I'm like so afraid to say it to people. So I'm just like, can you just like not like talk too much about it? And I think that's like the biggest thing, because I've seen, like, I was at a bar with my friends and stuff, and this kid walks in pretending to be a medium. He's like, I'll give you a reading if you buy me a drink, right? Like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, that's a red flag, Jonathan.
The biggest red flag. And he was wearing like a suit. I'm like, you're wearing a suit in a dive bar. The hell are you doing? Like,
oh my God, what a hustle.
Yeah, right. And he comes up to me and my friends who are all like, they're all still on the force and stuff. And, we're like sitting there. And he's like, there's a woman around you. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. Like most people lost a grandma. Like, come on, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like one of those where the biggest thing with me with like, cause I read a bunch of celebrities too, is like their life is so public, right? Like, and yours too, right? Like everyone's life is so public. So what I always do to try to get them to trust me is like, I'll pull in their first like makeup artist that died that no one knew about, or their first like hairdresser that passed away, things that isn't family related or maybe is family related, but like no one like speaks about them, because then you see like, they're like, oh, okay. Like that's, like that's not my grandma that I posted about 3 years ago on my Instagram. You know what I mean? So that's what I really try and do when I do that for them. I just try to go like a different way with it, just to prove, kind of to let their walls go down a little bit. And then if they come back to me like a second time, then I'll do the readings where like maybe maybe they want to hear from their grandma or their mom or their dad, their brother, their sister, that their death is public. But I want them to trust me first, and then I'll do that. That's just how I go about it. I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's just what I do. Yeah.
What I think is so interesting too about you is that you like appear to be just like a bro. Like if I saw you, like he's got a baseball hat, he's like wearing a white shirt. Like you look like you could be like the jock in high school. Like it's like, normally when you think of psychic, you're like, ooh, juju bougie. And like you got like a weirdness. Like you like look like a bro that we would like, try to set up with our friend on Tinder or whatever, And so you're just like very nondescript, which I think is like, probably like takes people back. Well, listen, I think it's really amazing that the podcast is really interesting. You guys can follow Jonathan on Jonathan Mark Medium on Instagram and TikTok. The podcast is called Connect with Jonathan Mark. It's available wherever you get your podcasts. And let us know if you see anything about us, Jonathan.
I will.
We're so excited to have you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you.
And happy psyching. And we will see you next Tuesday in our dreams.